welcome to the Dwarven Tavern. I am your host, Lyra Goins, and today we are doing something a little different than normal. We know that there are a lot of new gamers out there, and we would like to share our experiences and knowledge with those gamers, because some processes of gaming can be a little difficult, so we wanted to shed some light on the how-to process, and today, we will be covering the how-to process of rolling up a character. This is for rolling up characters using the Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 edition of the Player's Handbook. So if you would like to roll up your character using a different edition, then we have other videos either on the way or on our playlist, so please look into those. For rolling up your character, please follow these instructions. When it comes to rolling up a character, there are many different types of character sheets. You can find them from the back of the books, online, or simply by Googling 3.5 edition character sheets. We will be using the character sheet off of the Wizard's website. If you're worried that something may be missing from your own character sheet, don't panic. The backs are left blank for a reason. The absolute first thing you must do when rolling up a character, no matter who or what they are, what class they choose, or what lore they follow, you roll up stats. Stats are a character's 6 traits that are underlying bonuses they get on most rolls. The stats are as follow: Strength, Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma. Strength is obvious. It's the power of your character's muscles, how much they can lift, carry, push, or pull. Dexterity is how fast or agile your character is, their ability to aim an arrow quickly and accurately, catch themselves after they lose their balance, or otherwise just how gracefully they move. Constitution is their physical and mental willpower, how much they can resist a poison, how long they can withstand a spell, or even simply the ability to go without food without passing out. It's basically their ability to concentrate. Intelligence is pretty simple too. It's how smart your character is. It's also their intellect on certain things, like how knowledgeable they are, or how they can carry themselves in a situation where wit is everything. Wisdom is indeed different from intelligence. It's not knowing what to do, but when to do it. It's timing. It's curiosity. It's knowing when to turn back, when to ask questions, and knowing the difference between bravery and stupidity. And lastly, charisma. Charisma is firstly how your character looks, so if you have a high score, sparkles are included. However, that's not all there is to it. It's also your character's likability, how believable they are, how sly and moving they can be. If your character has a high charisma, their motivation can turn cowards into legends. Now that we know what those individual traits are, we roll them up. There are many different methods to rolling up characters, and each gaming group has their own style, but the Dwarven Tavern special is this. First, you take 4 6-sided dice. You roll 3 times, each time keeping the highest roll. If on the second roll you get a higher number than the previously kept die, you may exchange those dice. You can even keep 2 dice from one roll, exchanging lower numbers for higher. You pretty much do all you can to get the highest score possible. You should end up with 3 dice, discounting the lower number on the 4th die for the final number, and add up the scores. 18 is the highest number you can get. If you don't like your roll, you can scrap it, on the condition you scrap all your rolls. These stats are indeed most important, but for now we'll just set them aside. Again, those are Dwarven Tavern House rules, and each gaming group is different, so ask your DM for their opinion before you start rolling. These stats have something called modifiers. They modify practically all other things on your character sheet. The higher the number, the more likely you are to be able to lift something up, outthink a villain, or convince a person to follow you into battle. The inverse is also true. If you have a negative modifier, it is more likely that you will fail whatever you're doing instead of succeeding. The modifier goes up every other number, starting from 0 at the stat of 10. Then it escalates as such. 11 has +0, 12 has +1, 13 has +1, gradually increasing until you get an 18, which is a +4. For example, if your character has a 17th strength, your strength modifier, or strength mod, would be a +3. It can go higher as well, and your character can level up their stat every 4 levels as they go on their adventures. Next is choosing what character race you want to be. This is the fun part, as some races get different bonuses than others. If you're unsure or can't decide, the Taverniers always encourage the saying, roll for it. And after you selected what race, make sure you jot down all the important information given in the player's handbook. Things like speed, size, bonuses on skills and stats, and languages can be found in the traits section of the race. After races comes classes. another hard to decide part. Again, if you can't make up your mind, roll for it. But you can also base your class off of the suggested preferred classes on the race you've chosen. There's nothing wrong with being a little adventurous with your character race class mix-up either, so have fun choosing. When those two very important things are chosen, your character sheet will start to make sense. With every class, they have a table in the player's handbook that lines out information for you. First, there's their level, which most characters start out first level if not otherwise deemed by the DM. Then there's base attack bonus, which is your character's ability to battle. Fighters, barbarians, paladins, and rangers have +1 as they have a lot of experience in fighting already. You add this to your attack rolls to help your character land a punch or sword, depending on how they fight. Then you have the fort, ref, and will saves. Fort stands for fortitude, which is building on the constitution modifier. It's your ability to knuckle down and keep going. Ref stands for reflex, which builds on dexterity. Very bluntly put, it's your reflexes, how effectively you can dodge an attack from behind or steady your feet on a slippery bridge. Then there's will, which stands for willpower. This is based off your wisdom mod. Again, very obvious, it's your determination not to falter to someone else's tricks. Then the book gives you special traits that are exclusive to your class. These are known as class features and are defined in the chapter with your character class. Also dependent on your character's class is the requirement of spells, in which it lists how many spells a day you receive. After you finish filling out the information from the table, then we move on to game rule information, which is a few paragraphs down from the table. All classes have special abilities. These are the stats they use most when in combat or in gameplay. Next is alignment and hit die. Alignment is their overall personality. For example, if they are lawful good, it means they abide by the law of the land or god they follow, and they are inherently good. Their hit die is how many points they have or how many points it takes to take them down or kill them. With the 3.5 edition, a character can go as low as -10 hit points before they're dead. At 0, they're unconscious and indisposed, steadily losing a point a round until they reach -10, unless someone comes to their aid. Any hit that takes you to -4 or lower, you are considered dead. Instant kill. Next is class skills. All individual classes get their own set of skills, which their character will use most. Using the modifiers and the skill points you earn, you can easily get skills your characters will use in gameplay. To get your skill points, follow the equation the book gives you. If you end up with not enough skill points, still highlight those skills, as you can contribute to them each and every level. Remember, first level skills can have a rank of as high as 4 points. The maximum rank in any skill is your level +3, and it is halved if it is a cross-class skill. Once you've decided your skills, feats come up. All classes start with 1 extra feat, and then earn 1 every 3rd level, like 3rd, 6th, 9th level, and so on. You have the liberty of choosing what feat your character gets, unless the DM otherwise lists feats you are limited to. And depending on the class you've chosen, sometimes they get extra feats, so be sure to read your class's character traits carefully. Something fun you can do for your character is coming up with what god or deity they follow. In the description chapter of the book, you can find different types of gods and deities. These gods have their own alignments and can influence your character's choices. Make sure that if you are a holy character, you pick your god wisely, as sometimes their alignments can influence yours. It's not necessary to have the same alignment as your god, but sometimes it's preferred if they are good or evil. Next is armor and shields, weapons and gear. Your DM should be able to tell you what you need, but make sure that you stay well within the limits of your strength and class. Each class earns a specific amount of gold also, so unless your DM says otherwise, make sure you can afford all of what you want. No tower shields if you can't use it or pay for it. Paladins and fighters, I'm watching you. The last touches are ready now. You get the basic languages of your classes, and in addition, you can use your intelligence bonus to gain the ability to speak multiple languages. With each point of your bonus, it gives you another language you can learn. For example, if you have a 16 for your intelligence, you can have a +3 modifier, meaning you can learn 3 languages. Your AC is your armor class, or how hard it is to hit your character. This is just adding up bonuses you've received from your armor, shields, and dexterity. Depending on the situation your character is in, you will need to use modified AC, touch or flat-footed. Your touch is without your armor class, and your flat-footed is without your dex mod. You know, just in case you can't run away from the situation. Initiative, which is how quickly you can jump into battle or react to something that's happening around you, is just simply your dex mod. If there are any other stats missing from your character sheet, simply use the numbers you already have, such as base attack bonus or your modifiers, to fill the empty spaces in, or simply leave it blank until your DM tells you what to put there. All other things listed on your character sheet are specific for character classes, like spells and familiars, so we won't go into those. At any point in time during this process, feel free to fill out the personal information at the top of your character, like their name. Make sure to write your own name in as the player, so if your character ever gets lost, the person who finds it knows who to return it to. As a disclaimer, this is a guide to roll-up characters for Dungeons & Dragons Edition 3.5. Some of the rules are altered by Dwarven Tavern House rules. If you would like to get more in-depth description for each individual point, all details can be found in the 3.5 Player's Handbook. If you have any questions or concerns, we'd be happy to answer them. Each Dungeon Master may have their own rules or regulations, so check with them even when using this guide. So, there you have it. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know using our website, www.dwarventavern.net, or by commenting below. Subscribe, like, share, get the word out. We're always happy to have more fans to educate and entertain. So, on behalf of the entire cast and crew of the Dwarven Tavern, I am your host, Lyra Goins, and we wish for you to want nothing but adventure, and at first I feared it, then I charged. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.